Hello, everyone. Happy New Year and all that. Hope you had a great Christmas. Um, we'll see if people start filtering in because I didn't actually advertise this. Because I told people that I'd only take the one weekend off, which was last weekend, um, for the Christmas period. So we'll see if people start filtering in. Living History UK evening. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Steve, is this Steve? I presume it's Steve. Happy birthday, anyway, buddy. If it is you, uh, hopefully we'll be seeing you. I don't know if you're going to Stoneleigh. I'll be going to Stoneleigh at the end of this month. If you're around, I'll come and see you. Herefordshire lad, it's the Shanahan show. Yes, it is. How are you doing? Um, how are we keeping? It is Steve. Thanks, mate. Yeah, all cheers. Glad you are well, mate. Oh, I'll try my best, mate. Maybe working, but I'll do what I can. There's no hassle. I'll be there anyway. I need to send Danny though my travel itinerary this week. But I believe my better half has it all sorted. Hello everyone, you there, mate. I am. Hello, David. How are you? Jim Timber. Hello, mate. Happy New Year. Hello, Jim. How are you? Steel Helmet Stan is in. Still got the flu, but at work for my sins. Oh no, Danny. I hope it goes well for you. Hey Stan, Timberless, David. Hello, chat. Hello, John. Hello, David. How are you? Cold War Chemical. Hello, Andrew Johnson. Howdy, Jude. Hello, Gary Hall. Evening all. Happy New Year. Jesus, you're all here. Hello, everyone. How's everyone keeping their parabrate? Will be dropping in on you anytime soon. That's perfect. If any of you don't know, I was talking to Jim on the phone the other day. Just wishing him a happy new year and a merry Christmas and all that. Because I do actually have buddies that are here on the live. Benny, Herefordshire Regimental Museum, Steve, Jim, Steel Helmet Stan, Gary Hall, Jude. I talk to an awful lot of guys here every week. And we were just chatting before. I just was wishing him a merry Christmas. If any of you don't know, Jim is in Poland. He lives in Poland. Jim Timber 2 is his channel, YouTube channel. He does have a YouTube channel. A lot of Cold War stuff he collects. And we were just chatting, and I just said it to him. I said, "Look, I was cleaning up and tidying up in here, which I was, and a very few Polish special forces stuff. I have one Polish beret, military beret, and he said, "Gee, yeah." He said, "If I ever come across anything, I'll look for it for you." And lo and behold, 2 days later, he goes, "I've got you a pair of berets on the post." And I said, "Do you want any money for it?" And he's like, "Oh, no, forget about it." So that's the type of guy he is. So I'm looking forward to that when that arrives. David, fine, thanks. Crumbs, full house nearly. Yeah, it is. Full house. Hello, everyone. David, I'm drinking whiskey. Ugh. Hi, all the nutters of Military Collectors Anonymous are here. Yes. Hi, my name's John and I'm a nutter. Budweiser for me. Limsip for me. Oh, poor old. I'm on. Andrew's on the Iron Brew. Iron Brew. While I was tidying and cleaning, my buddy, Mr. Herefordshire Regimental Museums, or Danny Reese, kindly gifted me a parcel before Christmas. Now, I'm not going to go in too much into detail on some of the stuff, but I am going to show you some of the things. He kindly gifted me. Now, this is, believe it or not, is the only medal in my collection. I do have my own medals. I have family medals and stuff, but this is the only non-family medal, shall we say. And it's belonged to an Irish guy. So we will be doing a video on this. Very, very interesting medal. So look forward to that. And these I found were quite interesting. I haven't subscribed or transcribed them or anything yet. But if any of you don't know, I do collect Pacific, World War II Pacific stuff. And Danny used to collect it as well. Danny used to portray it in reenacting and stuff like that. And he kindly gifted me 2 personal letters. So we will be doing a video on these as well. And these are to, if I remember correctly, it's a lieutenant. He's a lieutenant? Yeah, Lieutenant Smith. This one is Smith. And this one is Roach. United States Marine Corps Reserve, United States, and this one is USS. Sorry, this one's a sailor, this one's a Marine. So yeah, so really looking forward to reading these. This one is addressed to the Roach family, and this one is the Smith family, California. So I haven't gotten around to transcribing them yet and putting them on the paper. So we'll be doing that soon. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I really like, because there are personal things. 1 second, we just catch up on all these questions. With tea for me, just tea for me, do we have time for a Beefy Boys? We will have time for a Beefy Boys. I'm coming on Friday. So we'll have all day Saturday. Sunday is the fair, and then I'm going midday on Monday because I know you were talking about taking the day off. I said it to her, I said I don't want you to take the day off because it's they're hard enough to get. So if you can drop me at the train station on your way to work, and I'll work it from there. So that's the plan. So I just, she hasn't given me the dates or anything or the times or anything yet. So we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get those in the next few days. So we've Saturday we can go gallivant and do what we want to do. Probably call to our usual and call to the Army Surplus store there by you and just have a rummage, Beefy Boys and whatever else after that. Then steel helmets. Where we going? None of you are as cool as me because I'm drinking drain cleaner. From Gutters. Ginger. Good evening, chaps. Hello, Nick. How are you? Juice Dines. I'm on the front of Serge Greek battle dress. I'm on the hunt for Serge Greek battle dress. If anyone knows where I can pick some up. Wouldn't have a foggy. eBay maybe, Jude. I don't know. Hello, my name is Jim, and I'm a non-iron brewholic. Hello, Andrew. Have you pulled his records? I haven't pulled his records yet because I haven't been. Because he gave me some other forms and stuff. So, talk amongst yourselves there, lads. I'm just going to the filing cabinet. So he sent me some other stuff as well now. I just have to be careful when I take these up because there's some news cuttings on it that I don't want people to see because she's scantily clad. So we'll take that one out. I'll put that to one side. Actually, we can work it this way, right? So yeah, he sent me some paperwork. Now, as all of you know, with paperwork and stuff like that, it's about research, and what do we have here? So we have Belfast and areas. So we have a little touristy map, pretty much. That, believe it or not, that was used by the British forces. So what they would do on this map, they would colour in where it was the Catholic area, where it was the good area, where it was the bad area. So I was doing some research on this, and that is, what size is that? Belfast Street City Centre, so that's City Centre, and then this one is Belfast and areas, surrounding areas. So yeah, so that's what they would do. So you'd have, these would be pinned up on stations. Then he kindly sent me one of them for the collection. So I've got this. Put it back together right. That's the worst thing about opening these yolks, is to try and get them back the way they can. There we go. That's better. That's even better. Now, so that's that little item. The next little item it back in its folder. So this is what I've been doing pretty much over Christmas. I've just been looking at these and researching them and things like that. As we said earlier on, it is the quiet season. So the next thing we have is a planned search for training guys. Where on a car to search. The next one then is for a bus, how to search a bus, correct way to search a bus. And a lorry or a truck, how to search a truck. So yeah, so these are all would have been used for off banner. The next thing then we have is attack map signs. What's an attack map sign? Different emblems like a section, how to mark a section, gun section, platoon section, battery company squadron, regimental battalion, enemy, things like that, right? And then the last one then, this is the one that I have to be careful of because there's a page 3 model on the back of it, but it is the Gazette for the UDR, serving news for Northern Ireland, service news for Northern Ireland, and this is dated the 5th of November 1976. New UDR Centre opens. The newest battalion centre of the Ulster Defence Regiment at Steeple Road, Antrim, for the 9th UDR has officially opened last Saturday. Actually, Gary Hall, I don't know if Gary's still there, but Gary was a member of that regiment. 9th UDR. Dungannon Bus Blitz, obviously. Crackdown on wandering gunmen, successful appeal. So yeah, so I was reading this and just checking up some of the stories and stuff on it because yeah, obviously it was quite interesting. So that's what I was doing over the Christmas period. He did send me some other bits and pieces. He sent me a shirt that will be in a video. He sent me Navy SEAL, or not Navy SEALs, SAS pants, cold weather pants. There was a set of marine patches, those letters, some paperwork. Yeah, there was other bits and bobs in it as well. There was a lightweight sleeping bag that will be covered in a video. Yeah, so there was lots of good stuff to be done in a video. What have we done? Have you pulled his records? Oh yeah, that's the one I was on. Hey Kenny bro, the safety is on. Jude, I'm sure they are available on eBay. Found some more Pacific letters you can have. Oh, thanks, Danny. Thank you very much. Yeah, but found those ones very, very interesting. I haven't started transcribing them yet, but I will. Hootsman, hey Jim, hey Stan, Wood Marines, hello Andrew. How's the binocular collection going? What for? I was expecting a quiz. God damn it! I sharpened my pencil. We can have a quiz next week. We'll have a quiz next week if you like. Coming along nicely, just picked up my Yugoslavian M56 monocular. I meant quiz. I know what you meant. It's alright. Mad for rubber. High as hell. Fair play to you. I'm Cheltenham Dockyard Military Market on Sunday. I haven't been to that one. I've never been to many markets in the UK. So hopefully now Stoneleigh will be my eye opener and try and get to a few more over the next year. I know Steve from Living History UK released the dates for of events they will be showing it. I will be at a few of them. I won't be at all of them. Obviously traveling back and forth and stuff, but I'll try and make as few of them as I can. I will announce which ones that I will be making. More than likely, I will be at the Victory Show, the Living History UK Festival, Aidencroft, and I'm not sure after that. We'll have to check it out after that. Cheers, stand. Cheers for that. Nice. Didn't own a monocular. Don't own a monocular. Said sus one out. Should sus one out. Stan, I actually have binoculars that you sent me, which are very, very nice. Thank you. Good kill on the JNA monocular. Cold War David Brennan, great place to visit. The ordering is always great too. Denny or Dave figured out. Not sure what shows I'm doing with Lazy Company yet. Still sorting. I will be at Yorkshire actually as well. I forgot about that one. Yorkshire Wartime Experience. I will be there. I like maps. I would be lost without them. I have some. I did a video on them as well. I put them away there earlier on. I have some maps that I got at Yorkshire, Vietnam maps that are very, very interesting. So if you go back through my catalogue, I presume they'd be in the playlist of Vietnam stuff. I do have some maps there from Vietnam that are very interesting as well. What's the best place to get maps for BAOR? Bora? I'm not 100% sure. Maps are an oddity because people collect maps in itself. So military maps are harder to even collect. It's a hard one. Where would you get maps? eBay, auction houses. Like there are specific shops that just sell maps. Yeah, they have a nice paperwork. Yeah, I like the paperwork side of collecting things as well, because it gives you an extra little insight. Um, there is actually a buggery. There's actually a buggery in map folding. I don't hope you mean a degree in map folding, Jim. I meant a degree. Oh, there we go. Belgian version of degree. David, no point using a tourist DDR map, a blank piece of paper. Somebody I have actually seen what could have been Stan? Stan had was it a tourist book or a tourist guide to East Germany at one stage? I can't remember. I think I've seen that somewhere. German do Militaria has maps, mainly NVA ones, but does have UK, US, French every now and then. Cold War Chronicles. German do Militaria. Must look him up. German do Militaria. German do Militaria is a good website. Thorson is Genesee amongst Genesee. Nice guy. I have a new tattoo. One arrow points south and one says arse. And the other arrow points north and says eyebrow. 100% David, this podcast thing about his time in the NBA is very interesting. I must look that up. 9th was the Antrim Battalion, have quite a few of them, including the Checkpoint magazines. Oh, okay. Very cool. Where's that stand? I want to see the ladies of the special interest page. No, you cannot see the lady of the special interest page, or we would be in trouble. With YouTube, I'd probably get a prang for having page 3 models on my channel. Kenny Rebel, cheers. I'll show you her. We'll show you her face. Hang on, we'll do it this way. There we go. She's a lovely girl. That's all you're getting. I'll give you a bit more. Here you go. That's it now. Lovely girl. Now, Kenny Rebel, no worries. Players or Finch? Players or Finch? Not sure what you mean, Dave. Stoneleigh, Melvin, Victory, Odyssey, Fairs are the best. Victory was, from what I remember, there was a lot of Cold War stuff at Victory, actually. Got to go. See you later, Cold War Chemicals. Have a good one. I am going to end up going to Germany on a binocular hunt if I don't find one soon. Stan is your man to find. Stan finds an awful lot of good deals on binoculars and stuff on the old interwebs. Chudmeal of Kent. You do any World War II uniforms? I do. I do SAS in World War II, but this one, which is there is a video coming up on, is going to be badged as Royal Ulster Rifles. And I will be getting another tunic off him, because this is, as you can see, this is the austerity pattern. or the later war pattern. I will be getting another tunic in that pattern for him, because the tunic I have was kindly gifted to me by Danny Reese. Is Battle Dress Surge, so I'm going to badge up another one for later war, depending on what part of the conflict we are doing. Now, I could get away with using the other one for the whole of the war and leave this one as Munsters, or sorry, Ulsters. So we'll wait and see. David Brown is in. It's on his website. You have to look through the menu. Can't recall off the top of my head, but if you find it, message me via YT, and I will look. But I'm sure it's easy to find. Okay. Later's mate. I'm wearing one now. What are you wearing, Stan? A bikini? Danny sent you. Andrew, Danny send you and your lads details for me via John if I can sort you out for and I can sort you out for the wartime experience during the form doing the form this weekend. It'll probably, if Danny does come, it'll probably be just me and Danny. I'm not sure about Chuckles and the boys. It's a long way for them, but we'll wait and see. We can figure it out, but we'll figure it out anyway. Thanks for the Jen Stan. I will have a look. He has God of War. He was God of War. He was on the last parade of the NVA in 1989, and they didn't know what was going on. Oh, that's your man from that owns that shop. Yeah, oh, where are we going? I've got the I've got the DDR maps and tourist guides. I was wondering who it was. I've got a tourist map of Rostov featuring. I'm wrapped in a Mac. It's a Highlander thing. I flash the ladies and say, there can only be one. I wouldn't mind visiting former DDR this year. Is or are there any tourist destinations? Checkpoint Charlie, I believe. There's a museum at Checkpoint Charlie that shows people how they escaped from east to west. As far as I remember, I know there's one of those museums there. Oh. I think there's one part as well where they actually have. There's no wall there, but they have, we say, the wires. They have different markers to show you how far, like the kill zone and stuff, were between the wall and the towers. So we'll wait and see. I don't mind visiting the former DG. Sorry. Here we are. She has sweet face, lovely face. That's page 4. I'm disappointed. Andrew, if I'm doing Yorkshire, I'll possibly bring the pinky for a change. It's up to you. It's probably easier actually drive the pinky up there than it would be. Dragging the trailer with the wheelies on it. But with the lads there is Cold War and there is World War II. There's lots of variants there, so we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. I was in the SAS Santa's Assault Squad. We were known as the Elves. Thurston always pulls that one. A photo with a red arrow noted as me. He is a big man. You mind me on, for fuck's sake. I know a lot of respect for Thurston. I have swapped gags and Smocks, shook hands with him. He does good business. And what did you say his website was again? German do military or something, is it? Yeah. But Andrew, in relation to Yorkshire wartime experience, we'll figure it out. I'll get on to Danny during the week, and if he can make it, I'll definitely make it anyway. I don't know if Danny will, because we'll wait and see. But yeah. I've known Thorsten a while. Great foundation of knowledge about how troops wore and used kit in uniforms. Yeah, I've bought off him a few times. Um, Jesus, it's 25 past already. Oh, we're on 25 minutes. So yeah, so that's it. So did everyone have a good Christmas anyway? First of all, um, German do military. Okay. Um, does everyone have a good Christmas? Did anyone get anything nice military related for Christmas? Um, I know I did. Uh, I got a few bits and pieces. I'll show you what I actually got for Christmas because it's here nice and handy and I can show you. While I just file this back into the filing cabinet. So, what did I get for Christmas? Not military related. Well, I suppose it's channel related. So, what I got was one of these. Whoops. Hang on a second. Yes, I had a great crimbo. You saw the pictures of my bear. I did see the pictures of your bear, David. I'm surprised you're still sober. A nice new broomstick. Lusber 2A1. Oh, very cool. No military, a candle that says because the cat stinks. Sorry, I missed one there. No worries. It's a World War II thing for us, but there's Land Rovers and stuff like that on the top field, but more than welcome to come with us. Yeah, perfect. We'll figure it out. Still time for a quiz with half an hour to go. I'll get all I got for Christmas was 2 front teeth. Don't say that, Kenny. One of my cats is staring at me. I didn't just get a what? I did just get a cold air M2327733 though just before. Oh, okay. Andrew, yes, doing World War II for Victory and Odyssey got to even up the vehicle's use of or one gets jealous. The Pinky has been overlooked since the Jeep arrived. Um, yeah, we'll figure something out. A cat can look at a king. Stan met. Very true. Right. So, what did I get for Christmas? So you know the way I do documentaries and bits and pieces and try and teach Irish people about history and stuff like that. Try to teach people about Irish history and things like that. Well, I got myself a drone. So yeah, I got myself a drone for Christmas. Kindly given to me. I didn't know I was getting it. It was given to me as a present by family. And yeah, so that's what I got. I got myself a little drone. So this will be coming with me to England. Though I do believe I need to get a license or something, permit or something for England. But it will be coming with me to the shows. So hopefully we'll have a bit of better footage and camera work and stuff like that. For when I'm doing these documentaries and things like that. So yeah. So one second now. I just fell when I was taking the stuff out, so I'm putting it all away again. So yeah. So that's what I got. There's so much in it. It's not that easy, so I have to try and practice and stuff. So yeah. A cat can look at a king. Can look at a king. Stan mate. Very true. Cats are just little thugs looking to get in what begin with us an even more advantage. My son got it, Stan. The cat does usually lay down, lay a brown egg just before I get back to greet me. Wonderful looking drone, John Bro. Thank you very much. You will need an air defense capability. I know. I know. That's rare. That's rarer than an Irish prefab. Yeah, we don't have prefabs. We don't have prefabs. That was a big funny. It was a funny thing actually when we were in Aidencraft. It was Aidencraft. We were looking for stuff to do. Danny, myself, and Danny. Danny is my best mate. If any of you don't know, obviously who Danny is. Danny Hereford Regimental Museum. And he was like, we'll do some videos. And I was like, okay, what do we do? So we lined up a load of stuff, and he goes, why don't you do some videos on the buildings? And I was like, going, yeah, okay, but what buildings can we do? And he says, prefab. And I was like, what the fuck's a prefab? So he explained to me the history of what a prefab is. We don't have prefabs here. Maybe in the north they have prefabs, but not down south. So yeah, so that's where the prefab came out of. HIMARS can shoot them down though, so be careful when you buzz it. Uh, speak to Steve about drone license. I will actually. I must speak to Steve. I know Steve has a permit alright for his one. I think it's all here. If mine is under the size, it's got to do with the size and the commercial capability of it. Mine is just classified as a recreational toy, believe it or not. So I don't need a permit for it. I'm not allowed to fly it. You're not allowed to fly it over in built-up areas over private residential houses, but outside and things like that. And if you are flying it over a specific building, you need permission. That's what I do know. That's what I have found out so far. Second Whiskey Mac has been started. More bud for me. Yes, plenty prefabs up here, John. Yeah, we don't have. Well, yeah, we don't have any prefabs. Were the prefabs? How do I word this correctly? Was there a different form of prefab for the Troubles than there was for the Second World War? If you get me, Gary. Because you had the likes of burning of Bombay Street and places like that. I presume those people needed to be housed somewhere. So, yeah. There used to be a lot of old early prefabs in Ipswich housing and bungalows. Yeah, I just found it fascinating. We'd never, and it was a tidy little house. And when you think about it, definitely here in Ireland, there is a mad problem with affordable housing and cost of living crisis and all this type of stuff. That's a problem, or that's an issue from the past that could be brought to today. Okay, yeah, I know they used a lot of asbestos and stuff from them at those times, but with the manufacturing things that we have now, I can't see why they can't make those prefab houses now, possibly for cheaper or possibly for the same price even, and put them on council land and deal with this housing crisis. It would be a perfect solution if they got their fingers out and figured out how to do it. Then again, I'm not into politics. Like concrete style ones, prefabs in my town, 5 miles walk away. Oh, sorry, 5 minutes walk away. Oh, very cool. I live in a prefab. Do you, Jim? I made it myself. My grandfather had a prefab after World War II. Unpleasantness, asbestos walls, 1/4 inch thick, but fitted kitchen and fridge. Yeah, by my. Yeah, I understand like the building qualities and stuff like that were not exactly. Yeah, for then for that time period, the manufacturing and the product and what they were using was state of the art. It wasn't until later on that they found out, okay, asbestos can cause damage to the lungs, can cause cancer, stuff like that. So yeah, I understand why. But with today's products and capabilities and stuff, I can't see why they can't do it. And sort out this. My friend's granddad lived in one. Good kill, Stan. Or good kill, Dave. What's Dave killing for? Good kill, Stan. Single glass layer windows, ice on the inside during the winter. My first barrack block on unit was a 1950s prefab block. Ah, okay. But I mean, yeah, okay. I understand they weren't, but like, Now I can't see why they can't have double glazing. Why they can't be insulated to the guts. Um, yeah, so I just don't understand. Asbestos is all good. We just told Grandma to take deep breaths. Oh, Jim. Um, where are we going? Prefabs were only post World War II, John. No prefabs as a result of the trouble stuff. Ah, okay. I understand. Prefabricated Kingspan houses. Yeah, there you go. Uh, get on to it at your next union meeting that you reckon you have an idea for Kingspan to expand the business. Um, Jim, you are a bad man, but I know in your heart you meant to be good. Asbestos back then, doctors recommended smoking. I did actually read in a medical report one time for asthmatics to smoke. Was doctors recommended because they believed that the inhaling and the exhaling of the cigarettes was exercise, like doing push-ups for your lungs. Yeah, crazy one. Uh, went the Americans left my village, even the Nissan huts were sold off and locals lived in them for a time. Ah, okay. We did actually at Chilton Open Air Museum for the first Festival Living History UK festival. We were actually staying in an authentic Nissan hut and it was fucking freezing. I mean freezing. But look, it is what it was. Um, there used to be some of those up Metalstump Health when I was little. HRM all knocked them down to build on. I was always on report, David, sir. I've seen a caravan advert saying it's good for the throat. Now Nissan sell cars, you can live in them too. Some people actually do. Believe it or not, the price of housing here in Ireland. I was actually There was a guy on the local news yesterday or the day before. He's living in his car. Um, his parents are old. Can't live with his parents because they're in like a one-bedroom bungalow. Sorry, they're in a two-bedroom bungalow, but his dad is in one room and his mother's in the other room because his dad is constant medical treatment, and his mum, well, so he can't live at home. Um, he can't get on the housing list because he's a single bloke. Um, Basically, he's been on the housing list for about 4 or 5 years, possibly longer. Um, but because of the rent and stuff like that, he's living in his car. He can't afford rent, so he literally lives in the yard of his mum and dad's house. He They let him shower, shave, and he washes and watches telly there and stuff. But when he wants to go to sleep, he's actually sleeping in the car. Gets up in the morning, goes back into the house, has a shower, and drives to work. So yeah, it's a bit of a sad situation when you see things like that happening. Uh, Kavanagh wears cigarettes, John. Ah, okay, I understand now. Lots of Nissan Hutter camps were used as Polish resettlement centres after the war. Um, an awful lot of the camps here in Ireland, the likes of Knocklashin and places like that, which were camps that were built during the war or the emergency, an awful lot of them were used for the Hungarian refugee crisis when the Soviets, when there was a war in Hungary. I think it was in the 50s or 60s. An awful lot of those camps were repurposed for housing those refugees. Uh, we'll do some more exploring on your weekend. You're over. Yeah, perfect, Danny. Whatever you want, I don't mind. I don't really. I know when we're there, it's fine. It's whatever you want to do. I remember being in a Nissan Hut on annual Army Cadet Camp around the 84. I was 14. I reckon I was the only one not entering themselves, to put it politely. Oh, not in, oh, I understand what you're saying. I inherited a family estate to live in. Trump hurled estate. uh, some of the huts in Ballykilner when I was on my recruits course were from the First World War. Jesus. Um, there's a place you can actually. I might actually know they have the drone, as I might actually bring it down there. Um, there's a place called Kilworth, massive training area in Cork for the Irish Defence Forces, and they actually when we used to do helicopter training and stuff, you'd fly over, you could see the imprint of it, but they had this big trench complex built for training guys before they went to France during the First World War. So that's still there. I can't remember was there Nissan huts there, but there wasn't. They had timber huts. And it was like they had probably 16 of us, and then if you were in one with the bunk beds, you double that again. Um, they had those, and then one of them caught fire because you had a potbelly stove one end of it and a potbelly stove at the other end of it. They were what? Some of them had one in the middle as well, if I remember. So you had three potbelly stoves in it. But one of them caught fire. So they decided, right, we'll revamp these, and they changed them around and stuff. But yeah, so that's Kilworth training area. Uh, one second now. Pigeons are flying by. Bunch of anchors. Was it Navy cadets? Uh, Potsdam was on a plasterer's course. All amongst stuff stuck to the walls. Amongst stuff stuck to the walls. Uh, Fish hens, as the RAF called them. Ugh. Soggy biscuit on deck. Jesus, lads. The old nurses' quarters at Cherry Orchard Hospital were used to house Bosnian refugees when they arrived here. I was in the civil defence at the time and we were charged with their care. Ah, okay. Because I know my dad, Lord of Mercy, was in the Red Cross at the time of the Hungarian refugee crisis here in Ireland. So, yeah, that's the one. One hell of a game. Well, can't class it as negligent discharges all around the Nissan Hut. Kenny Rebel, yep, it's about it. I wasn't shelter type at all, but I thought, excuse me, the lad in the bunker below was bloody getting going for it. What the fuck should have yelped a boot at his den. How did we live before the internet? I have no idea. I used to be a roof tiler and slater. True story. I always left as the whole. I always left as whole so that I would always be in work. um, I can remember actually when it was it recruit training or 2 to 3 star training with bunk beds. And army bunk beds, literally. I think it was recruit training actually. Um, it wasn't my 2 to 3 star training. The first part of my recruit training I did with one recruit platoon, and then I partially tore my Achilles tendon, so I was sent to rehab, and then I went back to the next recruit platoon to finish my training in my 2 to 3 star training with them, only like a month or two later. But they changed blocks. So first recruit platoon I was with, we had the nice posh accommodation, and the next one I went to, the accommodation, everything just went because they were the senior class. So when the junior class was coming through, you get into the senior stuff, the senior accommodation, things like that. So when I went from the senior accommodation back down to the junior accommodation, oh my god, did that suck! But I think we were in bunk beds. But the bunk bed we had was like this. The frame had just disintegrated so much over time. But if one of us moved, it was doing this. Whether whether you were tearing away at yourself, or if you just moved over on your side in your sleep, the whole bunk would do this. I thought I joined the friggin' Navy. You get seasick at 3 o'clock in the morning, like. Hedge porn. Yeah, the sticky magazines were left all over hedges in the 80s. I had to, I hope you don't get it in the neck. Case catalogue. Strangling glass turkey at Tesco's. Andrew Johnson, right on it, mate. Older ladies in corsets. Oh, I shouldn't probably say that. Jesus, you're all gone warped tonight. Right, guys, it's 10 to 9. So, the usual, if you can keep it clean for the last 10 minutes, you can throw some questions at me if you want, and we'll see what happens. And as usual, I have a load of messages on my phone that I need to catch up on. Terry, quiet yourself. I'm using that one. Are we opening a book to see what decade the lady that Pete gets with in Butlins was born in? I'd go with late 60s, early 70s. That's my prediction. I used to find bags of scantily clad ladies in local woods. Kept me in business for months selling them. Yeah, when there's a school, boarding school, 5 minutes walk from my house. But there's a walkway up through their land, and it's all wooded area. And I can remember when I was a teenager back in the late 80s, early 90s, walking that woods. You'd find anything inside it. Sticky magazines, we used to call them. When are you going to get me on the range? Sometime over the summer, buddy. We'll arrange something. We'll sort out something. And we'll go shooting. Jim the Hereford Timber should be your name then. The Hoffer. Playboy Mansion in Poland. If you have ever refitted hotel rooms, you find vintage porn hidden all over the place. Really? Oh. What medals are you looking to add to your new collection, team? I'm looking at Irish medals first of all. So Irish men, first of all, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for Irish men or Irish people that had served in the First World War, Second World War, things like that. And then hopefully once I have a few of them that I can trade on or sell on or whatever, I'm going to specifically stick to like a regiment. So either the Royal Munster Fusiliers, because that's the local regiment to me, or just collect Irish regimental badges. But that's what I'm going to do now at the minute, because it seems to be a bit easier to do, because the regiment museum, Irish museum, or Irish medals, especially to regiments, Irish men to Irish regiments, holds a premium. They're very expensive. Well, I won't say they're very expensive. They're not expensive. They are expensive. They're not very expensive. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do at the minute. Now, I'm going to get Irish medals for Irish men that were in Irish regiments or Irish regiments and stuff like that, and then hopefully start branching off from there. Danny, if that answers your question. Andrew Johnson is laughing, or Jim is laughing at Andrew Johnson. Why do you think that so much World War II paperwork and books are so cheap? Once they rot away, that's it. I found my first Grumble mag in the bushes in 1982. I've still got it, but stuck together now. In relation to World War II paperwork, there was massive quantities of it produced. Massive, massive quantities. What's the difference between a reenactor and a living historian? Oh, a reenactor, in my eyes, is somebody who is basically an actor. They're given a uniform, or they have a uniform, and they put on a persona at a show or at a railway event or something like that. But ask them the history, they're not 100% sure. Not saying they won't know the history, but they're not in depth into the history. Whereas a living historian will know the uniform, when it was changed, why it was changed, what's in their pockets, uh, everything. That's the difference, in my eyes. One is fatter than the other. True, true. Do you know, please? Do you know, please? Do you know, please tell me? About the books or about historian, reenactor, and historian? A lot of reenactors too will go for an event for the day, whereas a living historian will spend the weekend. They'll sleep in tents. Okay, inside the tent they might have some luxuries like a camp bed or a mattress or something like that, but they'll stay at the events. Some guys will live. Oh, excuse me, like we did at the Victory Show. We stayed in trenches with blankets and we were eating ration packs or from the batty van when somebody threw our breakfast all over the floor. Um, yeah, that's my take on it. I'm thinking of adding a golf course. What? I'm thinking of adding a golf course where all the girls have bunny rabbits ears, Andrew. Oh, around your house in Poland. Yeah, should be a good addition. One's acting and the other's living it. That's a good. That's a One's acting it and the other's living it. That's a good analogy, actually. There, Kenny Rebel. Good idea on the medals. Where have we gone? The chase is better than the kill sometimes. Exactly. Exactly. I go to sleep in a Falklands War overcoat. I'm reenacting, but I'm warm. Yeah. A reenactor wants to burn. Reenactor wants to burn blankets. A living historian has kit that is correct, but will never be seen. But it is part of a normal living kit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had a poncho at Yorkshire. Remember? Wait, what did I say about Yorkshire? Can't remember. Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, poor old Andrew. When he went to Yorkshire to set up, he had the wrong poles. The poles were wrong for his tent or something, so he literally stayed under a basha for the weekend. Thankfully, it was warm. It was very hot, actually, if I remember. But yeah, is there any room for a reenactor against a living historian, against a collector, against an amateur historian, against a keen amateur? Room for all, or should it just be living historian? No, there's room for everyone. There is room for everyone. Uh, there is room for everyone. Everyone has their aspects. Um, you will actually see that one thing will branch into another. A collector will become a reenactor. A reenactor will become a living historian. A living historian will become a movie extra. They all filter into each other. If you get me. Um, was a lovely sleep for 4 days. A collector is more. A collector is more. The living is the collector is more the living historian. Uh, a collector, and a living historian are two of the same. If you're a living historian, I believe you're also a collector. You can have a collector that just collects and doesn't show. Those guys, I believe. Yeah, sorry, you have a collector that I classify as a hoarder. That will just hoard everything. And then you have a collector who will go to shows or will go to expos and stuff like that. And then you have a historian or a living historian that will collect and live the life as well at the same time. Yeah, so you can have them as well. A reenactor is more of a fancy dress crowd. Yeah, you do have that aspect of it. Whereas you have guys that will come. We'll say the show is Friday, Saturday, Sundays. They'll come on the Friday. They'll dress up. They'll stand around or walk around when people are there, and um, then when the show is over, or we'll say like most shows, you'll have the public will enter from 9 to 5. So he'll put on his kit at 8:45. He's out of his kit at 4:45, and he's in the drinks tent or he's doing whatever. Um, and he doesn't actually have a stand, or he doesn't have um, a group. He just walks around and looks at all the stands and stuff, dressed as whatever. Um, that's a reenactor. You do have those, and then gets changed, goes to the drinks tent, whatever. Following morning, same thing. 8:45, gets into his uniform, goes checks other stands and stuff like that, and gets changed again. So I suppose, yeah, you could say that those ones, it's a, I won't say it's a fancy dress, because Jesus is an expensive dress. But then again, you do have the ones that are completely incorrect. But yeah, um, it is what it is. It's a lovely hobby. I won't look down my nose at people, like, because a lot of the time, some of the time, those people just don't know. They're starting out in the hobby. They need to build the interest, or they need to get stuff. Like, if somebody's incorrectly dressed, I won't jump on them because they're incorrectly dressed. Because one, they could be starting out in the hobby. Two, uh, they mightn't have the correct uniforms. Sometimes just a bit of advice, a bit of talk. Say, look, this isn't correct, that's correct, whatever, and take it from there and see what happens. Now I have a lot more questions that I've missed. Both have their place in the sweet sickness. They do have their everyone has a place in their sickness. Just a matter of where you fit into the sickness. I must say that those lives you do, John, give me a massive sense of happiness. A great pleasure to be a part of them. I'm wearing clothes with it. I hope so, Jim. I hope so. Yeah, you're more than welcome, lads. I like doing these lives. I do enjoy them. A collector approaches the subject differently to a reenactor, for good or bad. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm the example there. I'm not really a reenactor, though. I do go to shows. I'm more into historical shooting and collecting historical firearms. That's exactly it. It's all it's all filtering and different aspects of interest. That's exactly it. Everyone has their own interest and everyone has their own aspects. What do you think of the SASR? Very, very well, very good regiment, the SASR, especially our service regiment, which is the Australian version of the SAS. Um, I do actually have a Australian SAS beret. I have a commando beret as well from the Australian Army. So yeah, so they are a very, very good regiment. Kenny Rebel, I'm a cyclist commuter, but I know real cyclists. Lots of snobbery. There's snobbery in everything and anything. I suppose the difference is to be the better man or better person, and not to just be a snob about the hobby or whatever. Because everybody has their own interest in the collecting, or interest in cycling, or interest in whatever. Not everyone can afford carbon fiber bicycles and spandex out their wazoo, whereas not everyone can afford a Victoria Cross, but guys can afford a war medal. Like, that's the thing. You don't have to be a snob about collecting. Somebody has an interest. Somebody wants to come and talk to me about um whatever. Like, that might be the class piece, their sole piece in their collection, because it was their whatever grandfather's regiment, uncle's regiment, whatever. But to them, that is the best thing since sliced bread. And fair play to them. I have no issue with that. To me, it's forage cap from the Royal Irish Guards. But to them, it's their piece de resistance because their grandfather served in that regiment or their uncle served in that regiment or whoever served in that regiment. But yeah, so like everyone has their own. Everyone has their crown jewel of their collection, and that's the thing. Like the live stream or the Christmas chat that I did with Danny and Jake. This guy up here, my mannequin from my because he started my banner collecting. That medal that Danny gifted me, they're the two prize pieces now in my collection because that's what started me in banner. That's what started me in medal collecting. Do you understand? I suppose if that makes sense to people. Um, Gone. Physical event after the mop goes home is to be respected if you can part of the culture. Exactly. I often practice reenacting as a pisshead alcoholic. I have to do it in fine art. Uh, Criticism or correction has to be diplomatic. Exactly. Exactly. You have to be diplomatic about these things. We have a lot. We have a lad, Matt. He'll find any excuse to get his kilt on at a show. He's the biggest peacock I know. He is a bit of a peacock, but he's a sound lad. Um, Regarding the subject, I'm still finding my way, and I buy things and then research properly, and the wrong way around. But it's a fascinating hobby, and after 30 years of playing rugby, I have no place for. Huh? You mean you have no place for rugby anymore since you've started collecting militaria? Is that what you mean, Stan? Uh, I do love sneaking snobs on 1,000 group rides with 1,000 bike. Crimes and horribles. Uh, Snobbery, don't look down your nose at the fat spotty guy with crip kits. He might be a great player. Exactly. Crap kit might be. Yeah, exactly. Awesome guards. Yeah, perfect. Always willing to give advice and assistance, but then it's thrown back at you. It's classed as snobbery. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing as well. Like, is people. I don't know what it is. Like no matter how diplomatic you are to people, or no matter how nice you are, and you talk to people, and you said, "Look, mate, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but this is wrong," and you try and correct them. They'll go, "Oh yeah, that's fine," or whatever. And the next thing, they'll head off or whatever. And the next thing, that somebody that knows you or whatever comes back to you and goes, "You see, you ran over there. He's calling me the biggest fucking dickhead guy ever created because you told him that this wasn't right here, Duran." You're like, "Am I trying to help?" Well, he thinks you're being a prat. So yeah, so there is that aspect of it too, like, you know. Side those wish to be part of it. Encourage clients must last whatever we do. Exactly. Kenny Rebel, I'm a 70-mile a week commuter. I have it, but I would fancy much. I've two, but I wouldn't fancy much. But that's it. That's it. I have a 13-year-old airsoft game, but orders and they have been so quick. They ruled them. Funny, the Marshall, those games. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, I couldn't do airsoft because you'd have me Team Six running around the place going, yeah, I played God of War for the last 14 years and I know exactly what I'm doing. You're like going, okay, well, whatever, man. It's a game. It's a game. I've done a few 15, 1,200 plus rides then, and I I'm in a documentary about ultra endurance ride. Ah, across Australia and Pacific. Very cool. Older, not older. Okay, that's fantastic, mate. What's the documentary called? I would love to meet all of the people on this chat. I bet you will be the fattest. I bet I will be the fattest. No, you won't be the fattest. Um, We'll soon learn. Who knows what time it is? Over an hour now, mate. Ah, yeah, perfect. Trump's got to get the beer in. Right, guys. So that's the end of tonight's live. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. As always, the next live will be next Friday at 8 o'clock. Hang on a second. I just double check. It will be next Friday. It should be. Yeah, the next live will be on Friday. So all tune in and wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that. Lots of collecting. Hope you've all had fun over the Christmas. Time to get back into it. Start collecting. Be safe. Stay away from COVID and all that stuff, and do what you have to do. I don't know, Jim. I'm partial to the Gregors, so a bit round myself. The Journey is the other side. 1997 filmed a lot more, but something happened during the race that changed documentary. Never wise to stuff. It might come true. Still understand. I can. Will be here later, guys. Have a good one. Stonely shopping list. Yes, I have to finish my stuff. Stonely shopping list. So, guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a good weekend, and I will see you all same time, same channel next Friday. Enjoy, guys.